Hello and welcome. My name is Heroin Bob and welcome to Bob Buys. In this video, I'm going to show you how I would clean an antique horsehair Victorian carriage blanket, because I realize that while there are plenty of videos on YouTube about how to clean a horse blanket, there's not any videos on how to clean a horse hair blanket. So this is how I would do it. I do have a degree in history with an emphasis in American archaeology. But this is just how I would do it. I am not a conservationist. I am not, a museum curator. I'm just a lady who's had some training in how to do what I'm gonna do. So take that for what you will, but this is how I would clean an antique Victorian horsehair carriage blanket. Here is the antique carriage blanket in all of its creepy glory. What I have done is I have laid it out on top of my clean car. I did just wash my car. If you have a tarp, that would work better. But you need to have it on a clean, marginally flat surface. So this is what I'm doing to improvise. And now I'm going to get a hose. So you basically clean one of these horsehair blankets like you would clean a Persian rug or a hand-woven Persian rug or an antique hand-woven Persian rug. So it's kind of the same process except smaller. So I currently have the hose set to shower. If you were cleaning a Persian rug, you would want to have it on jet if it was on the ground, but because this is on my car hood, I want to be gentle with it. It also already has damage to it, so I don't want to make it any worse. These doggos are anxiously waiting for me to turn the hose on because they like chasing the water. So I'm going to try to just gently reach. This is much easier without dogs, I promise. But I'm going to give it a nice wet down first, and then I will show you what I'm going to use to actually clean it. For a cleaner, I am just using Dawn's Original Soap. Again, this is animal hair, so I need a gentle cleanser, and this is good enough for oil-drenched baby ducklings, so it's good enough for an antique horsehair blanket. And then I have a bristle brush here as well to help scrub in. I'm, however, not going to put the Dawn directly on the thing. I'm going to put it on the brush.
Tell within a moment you knew me well. I could see you gave me solace when I needed someone there. In the darkness I still see you like a golden arch rising high above the sunset in every way you are. I know that everything's in focus now.
It's gonna smell like wet dog. It's gonna smell a little bit worse than wet dog, and depending on like what funky stuff has accumulated in your blanket over the last 100+ years, it's gonna be funky. So I am going to now rinse it. I have soaped everything up. I'm gonna give it a good rinse, and then I'm gonna turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. So if you wanted a good indication of how thick and like heavy these blankets are, you saw how much I was like spraying it. Some parts are still dry. That's just how thick these blankets are. So we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. You can see how this is definitely dirtier because this is the side that normally would have actually been on the ground or on the person. This is, of course, the decorative side, so this would have been facing out, and this would have been actually in contact with like the dirty skirts and the dirty boots and all that stuff. So this side definitely needs some more scrubbing.
searching for some kind of sign. Now I've reached a destination with someone of my kind. Keep me breathing with a feeling like an LED light. Now I'm moving through the shadows. You woke me up tonight.
Okay, now I'm just gonna leave it outside to dry. Is it 100% clean? No. But unless I want to pay to have it professionally cleaned, which is going to cost about as much as this blanket is worth, that is good enough to get most of the smells out and most of the nasty out. So, pretty happy. And I will show you guys when it's dry. So, the boyfriend has rigged up this lovely drying situation here with this sledge pry bar and his truck and this ladder, so that way it had some airflow to it. It's actually dry up top, but it is still very wet down here because that's where the water is going down. As you guys can see, the glass eyes did not make the washing. Also, as a personal choice, I removed them. I'm sure that there'll be some conservators that are going to be very angry that we removed the eyeballs, but to be honest, they creeped me out. And they actually have, there's a metal plate behind here that secured the glass eyes. And considering that there were 2 eyes missing already, I just feel like this just kind of looks a little bit less haunted. So there's that. We're going to leave this to dry here in the sun, and hopefully by the end of the day it'll be dry enough to take inside. Look at the babies! We do leave the TV on for them so that way they have like some noise with them, but look how cute they are! Here is the blanket, dried, ready for photographing, and hopefully to move on to a new home. These cat dog things still look terrifying with or without eyeballs. Moxie agrees. Do you think it's a dog or a cat, Moxie? She's not interested. She just wants to be fed. Am I sad that the glass eyes did not make it? Yes. However, it was already missing 2 of them, and I couldn't help that. Yeah, I could have not cleaned the item, but it did smell rather atrocious, and the color of the water coming out of it was gray. Moxie also is no longer offended by the smell of it. So it's clean now. I feel comfortable selling it to someone else and having it move on to a new home that will hopefully appreciate the piece of history that they have. Thank you all again so much for watching this. And I would like to again state that I do have a degree in history. My specialization is archaeology. It is not in art restoration, so this was my best attempt to preserve and clean an antique article. But I'm sure there are better ways, but this is my way. And I hope you guys have a very lovely day. Do what knows what you're doing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.
Hero, I wanna be a hero. Oh, the hero.